Angelina Jolie has returned to court to fight Brad Pitt just weeks after the former couple settled their 8-year-long divorce battle. The 49-year-old actress filed a response on January 17th to Brad's lawsuit over a French winery, Chateau Miraval, which they purchased together while they were married. In Brad's lawsuit, originally filed in 2022, he accused Angelina of violating their agreement by selling her 50% stake in Miraval without his approval. The legal battle between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt over the Chateau Miraval estate has captured public attention, not only due to the property's value, but also because of the deep-seated conflicts between the once-admired couple. In 2008, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie purchased Chateau Miraval, a vast estate in the south of France, with the goal of turning it into a family home while also developing a wine business. They invested heavily in renovations and in building the Miraval wine brand, transforming it into one of the most renowned labels in the world. However, after Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, tensions between the two escalated, leading to disputes over shared assets, particularly Chateau Miraval. In 2021, Jolie decided to sell her 50% stake in the estate to Tenute Del Mondo, a subsidiary of the Stoli Group owned by Russian businessman Yuri Shefler. Brad Pitt alleged that this sale violated their agreement, which stipulated that neither party could sell their shares without the other's consent. Pitt argued that he had spent years and significant financial resources building Miraval into a successful and profitable wine brand. He emphasized that Jolie had not contributed to its growth and that her decision to sell her stake to a third party without informing or obtaining his approval breached their agreement. Pitt also expressed concerns about working with Yuri Shefler, whom he described as having harmful connections and intentions that could negatively impact Miraval's reputation. In response, Angelina Jolie accused Brad Pitt of prioritizing his career over the well-being of their family. She asserted that selling her stake was a rational and necessary step to move forward after the breakdown of their relationship. Jolie also stressed that she had informed Pitt of her decision in January 2021, describing it as a painful decision made with a heavy heart. The legal battle stretched on for 3 years, with multiple court hearings and heated debates. In February 2024, a Luxembourg court ruled in Brad Pitt's favor, successfully securing his 60% ownership of Chateau Miraval. The court upheld the argument that Jolie's sale of her shares to Yuri Shefler without Pitt's consent violated their prior agreement. Brad, 61, claimed that his team had agreed to pay Angelina $55.4 million in exchange for her stake in the company. The actor stated that he had agreed to pay $46 million upfront, with the remaining $8.5 million to be paid in installments. Brad alleged that Angelina backed out of the deal after pretending to be concerned about the terms of the non-disparagement agreement related to this transaction. He further claimed that he did not believe her reasoning and suspected that she had secretly arranged and temporarily reached an agreement with a third party. Angelina ultimately rejected Brad's offer and instead sold her stake to a company called Stoli for $64 million. Brad then filed a lawsuit demanding that the sale be invalidated. He also accused the new owners of attempting a hostile takeover of the company. The new owners denied Brad's allegations and countersued him, claiming that he had misused company funds. Brad, in turn, denied these claims. Now Angelina has filed a response, denying all allegations of wrongdoing. Her attorney explained Jolie offered to sell Pitt half of her stake in Chateau Miraval. As part of that transaction, Jolie agreed to a standard clause that would not devalue Miraval's wine business. Had that deal gone through, this lawsuit would never have happened. But at the last minute, Pitt backed out of the agreement to purchase Jolie's shares in Miraval, causing the deal to collapse. Angelina claimed that the reason her ex-husband withdrew from the deal was that in 2021, amid their custody battle, she had submitted documents accusing him of domestic violence. In an initially sealed filing, Angelina claimed that although the documents were confidential, Brad was worried they would soon become public, and his fears were realized when the records were eventually leaked. Regarding the abuse allegations, the New York Times reported that Brad's attorney had previously stated that the actor had taken responsibility for certain past actions, but insisted he would not accept blame for things he had never done. In the recent filing, Angelina emphasized that Brad had withdrawn from negotiations and was only willing to close the case if she agreed to a new condition: an expanded non-disparagement clause that would cover all of his personal misconduct, whether or not it was related to Miraval, including evidence of his alleged mistreatment of her and their children contained in the sealed documents. She explicitly stated that Brad has never publicly denied his actions and asserted that for the past 5 years, she has had to endure his team repeatedly leaking information under the guise of anonymous sources in an attempt to discredit her claims. She was compelled to underscore that Brad was placing the protection of his career above all else, including the needs of his family, a direct accusation that he prioritized his personal interests over the well-being and stability of his family. In the sealed filing, Angelina Jolie asserted that Brad Pitt's actions had caused years of unnecessary emotional distress for the family, leading to an immense cumulative toll. Despite her best efforts to shoulder the burden not only for herself but also for their children, she had never publicly discussed Pitt's behavior. Even after Pitt insisted on a strict non-disparagement agreement, NDA, Jolie gave him additional time to accept the deal without such a clause. However, when Pitt responded with a counteroffer, he demanded an even more restrictive NDA, which led Jolie to declare that negotiations had collapsed as of June 2021. She subsequently sold her stake in Chateau Merville to Stoli in October 2021. According to Jolie's allegations, Pitt's actions were not merely a refusal to accept reasonable terms, but a deliberate attempt to punish her for non-compliance. He later sued her, claiming that an implicit agreement existed, preventing Jolie from selling her shares to a third party without his consent. Jolie, however, argued that she had fully met all contractual obligations outlined in the lawsuit and requested that the court dismiss Pitt's claims while also covering her legal expenses. She emphasized that Pitt, whom she alleged had never publicly denied his actions, had prioritized the protection of his career over everything else, including his family's well-being. This pointed accusation underscored his self-serving approach on all fronts, further exposing the deep conflicts between them, not just over assets, but also over honor and family responsibility. Although, according to In Touch, the two eventually reached a divorce settlement in December 2024, the legal battles, accusations, and justifications have left an indelible mark on their records. This reinforces the notion that the consequences of past decisions and actions will remain a persistent issue, reflecting the complexity and pain of a fractured relationship, where trust, dignity, and family responsibility are constantly weighed against personal interests and moral obligations.